I'm joined here right now by Deborah Bayless, Center for Conflict Resolution, 300 East 39th Street in Kansas City, Missouri. And Deborah's going to be speaking at our annual conference, of course, and her topic is fascinating. It's a session about pre-visits and the importance to prepare the individuals to be ready for mediation, as well as prevent harm if there's a power imbalance, also gauging their willingness to listen to each other and prevent impasse. I must tell you, Deborah, that I'm a big fan of the pre-mediation, at least phone call. I've not taken it beyond phone calls, but they're super, super useful. So why don't you tell us about what you plan on talking about at the conference?
Yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah, we at Center for Conflict Resolution, we've been around for 25 years, and initially, pre-visits were something that we recommended, but it wasn't something that I would say maybe half the time we would do. But as we've evolved, we really try to make sure that we do pre-visits before every mediation, or we also do victim offender dialogues. We also do other restorative justice processes. So before any of our processes that we do, we like to have a pre-visit where we are able to get to know the parties. And the benefit for us is not just that we get to know what's going on from their perspective, but that they start feeling comfortable with the process and who their mediators are going to be. And we can also gauge if we're even the right mediators. So there's all kinds of things that we try to filter during the pre-visit. But it starts with just getting a general idea of what mediation is. Before I've done pre-visits in the past, um, people would be surprised that it was going to be a longer process, that it was a couple of hours. That's what we ask people to schedule time for. Or they would be surprised that they were going to be seeing the other party and how anxious they felt about that. And so really getting to talk through with the individuals what their concerns are about meeting with the person that they're in conflict with or that had harmed them or that they had caused harm to is just really good to you know build trust and also um, you know answer any questions that they may have about the process.
Now, when you mentioned pre-visits, are these physical visits or telephone or Zoom?
All of the above. Ideally, it's in person, especially if the mediation is going to be in person. Then they can find the location where the mediation is going to be. So there's not confusion about the location. We have all the glitches that happen at the pre-visit, as far as finding the place. And then but we also will do Zoom visits if one of the parties is out of, the state or too far away or not able to um, use transportation for one reason or the other. And it, also one of our filters is are the individual, are they safe to be in the same space together? And so we would might gauge that, and then Zoom or phone calls would be some of the options as well. So any of the above, but the priority is in person, just for the reasons that I mentioned.
Right. And I think that's a little unusual. I've not heard of a lot of mediators meeting in person in advance of the mediation.
Mhm.
What kind of mediations do you specialize in at the Center for Conflict Resolution in Kansas City?
We specialize in community type mediation. So a lot of times when there's some kind of a relationship that's broken or that has been somehow harmed, and the individuals need to continue to either work together, live together, neighbor together, all of those things. So we also do landlord-tenant mediations. Those we probably do less of the pre-visits because a lot of the mediations we do there are at court. And so pre-visits are, we highly recommend for all processes possible, but we also do, we've been in courts for like the protection order protection type cases. and we didn't do pre-visits. And so, it's not that we won't do mediations if we don't do a pre-visit, but we just really see the value in getting to know the individual and kind of preparing them for a conversation. It helps de-escalate their frustrations, helps them organize their thoughts into what the actual issues are. And so we're really looking towards that. How are they going to best show up to be able to maintain the relationship or repair the relationship that they need to continue in?
Fantastic. I've not heard, again, of pre-visits. I've heard of pre-phone calls. I've even heard of pre-Zooms, but I think that's a fascinating idea of actually a pre-physical visit,
Mhm.
especially to prevent things like power imbalance. When you talk about power imbalance, can you give me an example?
Sure. So we receive, especially after COVID, it seems, but we've received a lot of requests for mediations in connection to coworkers. There may be some hierarchical differences in the organization, a supervisor and an employee, somebody that they supervise. Power imbalance can also be relationships. So we also do family mediations. We currently primarily refer them to March mediation, but there's some where it's just about the relationship and not creating a parenting plan and that kind of thing. So if we sense that there's some kind of a power imbalance where one person doesn't feel safe to speak what their needs are, then that's one way to use the pre-visit to either give them tools to be heard or just realize that this is not going to have a productive conversation because the other party is just going to do what the other one says. And so kind of gauging what level of mediation um, with the various, whether it's a work role, whether it's a parent-child. So there's all kinds of different ways where power can be kind of imbalanced and helping people recognize who have power that that's the role that they're coming into the mediation with, and that they how to um, leave space, leave voice for the other party, so that a real outcome can happen where both are fully able to participate.
Well, that's fantastic. I can't wait personally to hear your presentation. This is a part of mediation that's fascinating to me, and it sounds great. So thanks so much for joining us. And everyone, you make sure you join us November 14th and hear Deborah Bayless give her full presentation.